Good morning. I set my camera a little low. As you can see, my little Pugnox might make an appearance, but I don't know. He's just too tuckered out. He's 7, probably nearly 8 years old. And I know it's not young, it's not too old, but he's been exposed to Lyme disease as I have been. So I'm hoping that he doesn't have joint pain and stuff, but he sleeps a lot when we're home. So, any event, hello. Oh, maybe not. Uh, I just wanted to plant a little seed, a perspective seed, a different perspective seed, and hopefully it may help you. Uh, I know I know it's really difficult. I know from my own experience, it's very difficult to speak to others about the truth when they are in complete denial. There is a saying that it is easier to fool someone than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. They say Mark Twain said that, but everything's a lie. There's no evidence to back that up, that he said that. There's also no evidence to back up that he's even a real person. It's crazy. I know, because Satan's the father of lies. There is no truth in him. So when you realize that this whole world, there's very little truth in it, you're like, what? It makes you cling to Jesus Christ that much more when you know that he's the truth. And he's the only one that's not going to lie to you. So, speaking of that, this is where I wanted to take this conversation. When you mention the word Jesus Christ, you know that you've shut somebody off. You've shut them down. I'm unsure whether or not it's a trigger word, because before you come into the truth, you are programmed, you are indoctrinated. Um, ever since you were little, ever since you started school, even before you started school, your parents probably indoctrinated you in lies. So, um, think of it this way. Think of when Jesus was here and he was speaking to large crowds of people. I'm I wasn't there, but I'm sure that he always left them wanting more because they followed him. They followed him because he piqued their interest, he piqued their curiosity. And that's what we're supposed to do as servants of the Lord Jesus Christ. We plant small seeds to make someone curious, because no one can force Jesus Christ upon anyone. I know from my own testimony, somebody planted a seed. A couple of people planted seeds. Neither one of them at the time believed in Jesus Christ either. There was these seeds that were being planted years ago, and it piqued my interest. And as I was going along on my own journey, I did my own research. Most people and this is truth, most people just take things that are said to them at face value. They take it as, because a scientist said it, it must be true. Because a doctor said it, it must be true. Because a teacher said it, it must be true. Why would they lie to me? Uh, so when ideas were brought to my attention, or different perspectives, um, I'll use flat Earth as an example. And it doesn't matter whether or not you believe in flat Earth or not. That's irrelevant in this situation. So someone tells me that they think that the Earth's flat. Now, me, my personality, and who I am, I didn't scoff at it. I didn't mock it. I just was curious. I was like, and that's a natural human. I I shouldn't say natural, because it is innately in you that you're curious, like for me anyways. So when somebody tells me they think the earth's flat, my thing, instead of ignoring it and laughing at it, I'm like, why would you think that? Because, I mean, for one, I think it's interesting when somebody thinks outside the box and says something that's not mainstream. Their thought process, that they actually are a thinker instead of just regurgitating somebody else's theories that are not even proven. Someone says something to me and I'm like, I want to know why they believe that. Why do you believe that? And then they give me all these examples and I'm like, some of it, and you think about it and you examine it, you digest it, and you're like, you know what, there might be something to this. So you go, when you're interested in learning something, you go and do your own research. So why am I using this as an example? Well, find out how to pique someone's curiosity, for them to want to search for themselves. So when you speak truth, instead of dropping the Jesus bomb on them, saying Jesus Christ is the truth. I mean, I do that in my videos, but I don't do that on a, person to person. I don't throw that at people immediately when I see them. I look at the situation and look at what they're talking about, whether they're talking about government, and then I'll say stuff like, did you know that government in Latin means mind control? And then I kind of plant little seed that, and now if somebody says, what do you mean that mean? And I'm like, yeah, it's not real. It's a stage. It's to distract you. And it does a very good job at distracting people who are hardcore into politics. People get emotional and argue because they've been programmed, because they believe they have freedoms that they don't have. And when somebody feels like they're fighting for their freedom, they're gonna fight till the end. And here's the thing, if people learn that Jesus Christ is the true freedom, they would have that same passion, but you have to steer them into that direction to say, this is true freedom. This is a false idea of freedom, that they're lying to you. So again, people need to find Jesus Christ on their own, and they have to feel like it's their idea and their choice. If they feel like you're forcing it upon them, just like everybody else is forcing their ideals and their opinions upon others, they're going to put up a wall. They don't want to hear about Jesus Christ. But people want to hear truth, even though it may seem like, as soon as you speak truth, they're like, I don't want to hear it. Well, finding a way to get them interested in looking into it, it's case by case. But that's why we plant seeds, and that's why we don't stop planting seeds. Every opportunity, every conversation you have with them, you plant a seed. They can't unhear what they've heard from you. Now, whether or not they go and look into it deeper, that's something else altogether. But you planted a seed, so when they think of you, or they think of the last time they interacted with you, it was, this person said this, this, and this to me. On top of the fact that they see that you have peace in your life, that you're not an anxious person, you're not an angry person, you're a very forgiving person, you're a loving person. And they're like, there must be something to this, because they're different than everybody else that's around me. They're not like everybody else. That person's not selfish. That person doesn't talk at me. That person cares about what I have to say. And that's, your actions are planting seeds as well. But if you're shouting at somebody and, telling them, Jesus Christ is the truth. He died on a cross for you. And they're like, whoa. Because I'll tell you what, the how I was before I came into the truth, if somebody came at me like that, I would just look at them like they're crazy. They're absolutely out of their minds. And again, that's why you plant seeds. You don't bonk them off the head with a big boulder. So I hope this video is helpful. And the point of this also is, don't give up. Just because you think somebody's not listening to you, you still planted that seed. Your heart was in the right place, and Jesus Christ loves you for that. The fact that you had the courage enough to speak truth, even if everyone around you is disagreeing with you. You spoke truth. That's how you're showing him that you love him and that you follow him, is you speak truth and you live truth, regardless of how hard it is. So, I love you, and God bless.